Hi everyone and welcome to my flosstube number 65. I'm Needlecraft Danny and this is my first update video in 2021. My last update video was about 1.5 weeks ago, and that's just because I wanted to do an update video very close to my whip parade, and I wanted to do my whip parade on the 1st of January. Therefore, I had to delay my whip update last time a little bit, and now it's again about 1.5 weeks. But that means I have a lot to show you. I will show you everything I did since my last whip update. So there are, especially in the beginning, there are a few projects. You've already seen the progress, but in my whip parade. And I like to see the whip parade as something extra, something special that's not really with my whip updates. So therefore I'm going to give you an update on my whips since my last update video. I think there are 4 projects. I showed them in the beginning, and those projects will have progress on them that you have already seen if you have watched my whip parade. Nevertheless, as I just told you, there will be before photo pictures, so those will have been taken after the last whip update, and I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, let's get started. First of all, let's get started with the Temperature Garden by Stitch and Mommy. That was the project that kind of stayed with me through the whole of 2020. I stitched on it once a week, and I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And basically in my last whip update it was already done except for the last flower petal, so I did that and now it's completely done. I still have to hold it down here because there's my zip code and the location where I live in stitched in, and I don't want to show that on the internet, but yeah. Now it's completely done. It's stitched on the 28 count, a 1/1 full cross. I plan to stitch the last flower petal on New Year's Eve on the 31st of December, right at midnight. So technically already on the 1st of January to celebrate the new year. It got a little bit later. I think it was about 20 minutes later because here in Germany we're in full lockdown still, and we were for New Year's Eve as well. And you were not allowed to buy fireworks and stuff, just to kind of have less accidents with those fireworks and do not have the hospitals filled with all those fireworks patients because they're already filled with COVID patients. But if you had, at least where I live, that's not everywhere in Germany, but where I live, if you did have fireworks still with you at home from last year, you were allowed to shoot them. So basically, I did not have anything left because I don't do fireworks, but at midnight I went out on my balcony, and everywhere, there were fireworks everywhere, so I could actually watch pretty good without having to shoot on my own. And yeah, I stood on my balcony, watched a little bit of fireworks, and then about 20 minutes later I went in and stitched my last flower petal, and then I went to bed. So that was pretty nice. And Temperature Garden is now completely done. Not yet sure what I'm going to do with it in 2022, probably, not sure yet. I think about stitching another one of those, but with the town I grew up in. This is the town I presently live in, and I want to do one with the town I grew up in and where my family still lives. So I might think, or I might do another one then and then finish them together, something like that. Okay. On the 31st of December, I also wanted to finish one more goal, and I finished that. I showed you that in my whip parade already. It's a Tango Chilling Out by Dimensions. It's a kit. The design is by Matthew. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce it, but hopefully you can read it. And I wanted to finish the column I had started to finish my year-end goal. So I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And I did manage to finish this column and therefore have finished my year-end goal on this one. It's stitched on 18 count Ada, mostly 2/1 full cross. Down in the border there will be a lot of half stitches and 3 stranded half stitches and stuff like that. But at the moment up here in Tiger it's mostly it's just 2/1 full cross. The needleminder is from Dankai Designs, and yeah, I finished this column. There were I think 3 columns missing. Whenever I had thread left on my needle, I went over to the next column and stitched it completely in. And yeah, here we go. Really happy with this one. Can probably not see it perfectly because of the lighting, but yeah, I think it's okay. Here we go. That's Tango Chilling Out. As I said, finished my goal, and this year I have not yet stitched on it. Okay, the next one was a project I knew I would not get my goal done. I had 3 of those. One I have already shown you the 2 hours I wanted to do during December of the project. I won't be able to finish my goal. That was the twisted band sample. I'm going to show you that in a second again because I stitched on it this year. But there were 2 other projects that still needed 2 hours of attention on the 31st to have stitched on them during December. And yeah, first one is Lavender Garden. I'm not sure if it's really called Lavender Garden. It is by Rico Designs. It's a full kit, and it's basically a tablecloth where you stitch this, those motifs all around the tablecloth. I call it Lavender Garden because there's lavender on it, and it does not have a name. And for me, projects have to have a name. So I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And here it is now. I won't show you the whole piece every time. I showed you the last few times, I think. So basically, I finished the border up in here to over there, and then started on the big pot and on the pot next to it. So the big pot and then this pot over here. And that's 2 hours worth of stitching. I did around 1 hour 15, something like that. So I finished the border, stitched all those reds. There are 3 different reds in here. And then I thought about what to do next, and I did not feel like confetti stitching up in the pot. So I decided to just go with the pot itself, which is very easy stitching. So I did that, had some thread left over and moved over here. So yeah, here we go. That's Lavender Garden. You will see that one again at the end of my video for the plant section. So that's that one. Okay, and the last one of those small projects was Lilac Fairy by Vavaco, also a kit. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And here she is right now. So basically I finished all her hair and the ribbons and bands she has in her hair, and I finished that one as well. I did 1 strand of blue down here, and then I stitched quite a bit in her wing. So she stitched on 14 count Lilac Ada. That was in the kit. The needleminder is from 1 to 3 stitch, and she is just beautiful. Next time I come back to her, I will continue stitching in her wing. Just because that's kind of from the top, stitching from the top down. So that's going to be where I'm going to stitch next. And then I can hopefully do a little bit more of the long stitches, because that really brings those wings out, as you can see in here. Yeah. That's Lilac Fairy. I can't wait to get back to her. I want to finish her this year, so she definitely needs some attention. But not this week. Okay, that's everything I did in 2020, which I have not shown you in an update video, just in the whip parade. So now we actually move on to my 2021 whips and what I stitched since then. the end of 2020, I stitched a lot. There were so many goals I wanted to finish, so many things I wanted to get to. So basically, I just stitched it. With lockdown, there was not much else to do, so I stitched so much, and I kind of burnt myself out. So beginning of 2021, I did not really feel like stitching. I still kind of had the urge to sit down for a minute, be a little bit quiet, and have my quiet time. And that's when I did stitch every day, but I did not stitch as much as I could have. No way. And that's fine. Honestly, that's absolutely fine. I'm really happy with what I did last year, so it's fine to start the year a little bit quieter with a little bit less stitching. But it kind of sparked the idea to have one project to give attention to every day of the week, and the week after switch to another project. I really like that. And this week 1.5 weeks, for me, that was Non-Am Expressions Needlework by the Twisted Band Sampler. This one is also my treble stitching at the moment, and I did stitch on it every day except for one day that I did not stitch on at all. But otherwise, this one got attention every day of 1.5 weeks, and it felt really good. I got a lot of progress in, and I think I did one challenge with this one as well for the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group. I have to look it up. I have it down here. Yes. The challenge was stitch on a piece that you had to be sneaky about. I do not have anything like that. I'm single. I can do whatever I want, and therefore I don't have to be sneaky about anything. So yeah, basically I did not have any piece like that, so I went with penalty stitches on this one. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And I told you I did a lot. This is where I'm at right now. Super amazing. This one is stitched on a 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching 1/2 full crosses, well, at least the cross stitch bands. The specialty stitches bands I'm stitching as they're indicated. The needleminder is from Dankai Designs, and yeah, this is where I'm at. So since you said last, I finished band number 5 completely. So first one color completely down, and then I started with the next one. And then I started with band number 6, which again is a specialty stitches band. I think first was the 4-sided diamond stitch. The next stitch, I sadly forgot how it's called, so I can't tell you that at the moment. And then yesterday I moved into the Norwich stitch. This stitch is crazy. This stitch has 14 legs to the stitch. So basically, stitching this one would give me 7 cross stitches in the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group. So one of those stitches I can count as 7. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, here we go. Really, really happy with this one. It looks amazing. It really does. With this band that I'm presently stitching, band number 6, I will reach the top right corner. I have to do one more specialty stitch with this color I'm presently stitching in, and then I will have reached the corner. And down here, I will have reached the halfway point lengthwise with this band as well. So there's still quite a bit to do on this one. But yeah, really happy. Last year, so 2020, I basically did one band. This year I already did about one band and a little bit more on the next, and the bands are still getting longer. So yeah, really happy with my progress so far. But as I said, it's basically the only treble stitching I have at the moment, so it gets a lot of attention. And that's fine. That's nice. Yeah, Twisted Band Sampler will come out for my plans again, I think. Okay. And then in the first half week of the year, so the year started on a Friday, I think, And for the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group, the first challenges started on Monday. So I had 3 days where I had no challenges. So I decided to stitch on Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. It's charted by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Amy Stewart. That's that one. And this one had its birthday on the 1st of January. I started it as my New Year, New Start last year, so for 2020. And therefore, it's now 1 year old. And I decided to stitch on it for its birthday. As well as, there's, in the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group, they have the January bingo. They did that last year in July. I did not participate. And they did it in January as well. So basically, they have a bingo board with different prompts for a bingo board with, with different prompts for every square, and you can shoot for either a blackout or just one bingo. If you do non-counting, you need to stitch on a project that ties to the prompt. If you're doing counting, if you can tie your project to the prompt, you need 1,000 stitches. If you can't, you can go with penalty stitches, which then means 2,000 stitches. I do not want to do penalty stitches because I have, with most of my projects, have to do 2,000 stitches anyway, because I'm doing 10 stitches. So I don't want to do 4,000 stitches for one square with my here and goal on a lot of my full coverage pieces being 4,563 stitches only. So I chose the second horizontal line, and something that flies, I decided to do Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Because I'm stitching up in that corner, there's this owl, and then there will be another owl over here. So I decided to go with that one. And I'm just going to tell you what other projects I used for the other projects of the row. So the first one, some kind of celebration, I decided to go, I'm really blue. I decided to go with Dragon Dancer, also by Having Enough Designs. Artwork is by Anne Stokes, because there's kind of the Cherry Blossom Festival. They're dancing in the middle and the cherry blossoms are in the back, so I decided I'm fine with that one. For dragons as well, Dragon Dancer. Then design with Blanc or B5200, I decided to go with Mini Cinderella. Also Having Enough Designs, and the artwork is by Alexander Daw. And last is a design with words or books. I decided to go with Supersize Max Color Cliffhanger. Also by Amy Stewart, artwork by Amy Stewart and charted by Having Enough Designs. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get there. Overall, with 10 stitches and stuff, I would need 9,000 stitches for one bingo. Presently, I have about 1,000 done, and half of the month is already over. So, not sure if I'm going to reach that, and I'm fine if I don't. I don't need that. I have enough other challenges, and I decided to participate because I had the time still left over. So as I said, I decided to stitch on Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale for its birthday, for the January bingo. And on Monday, when the challenges were, for the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group were released, I also stitched on it for stitch on a piece that shows the outside. Well, there are so many scenes that show the outside. This one definitely fits. With 10 stitches, I had to do 510 stitches. So I did that, and overall I did close to 1,000 stitches on this one. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So I continued the diagonal down here, and I'm presently over here somewhere. So I'm getting close to finishing the next diagonal. Yeah, nothing super spectacular except for maybe the lantern in here. That lantern over there. I have reached that. So Otherwise, it's not super exciting, this column, because there were not a lot of super new things. The candle holder got a little bit more filled in. It looks really cool. But yeah, that's basically it. But still really happy with this project. Okay, that's that one. And then there were 2 more challenges for the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group. And the first one was stitch on a piece that shows something that makes noise. Well, I decided to stitch on Raven Queen because a raven makes noise, or it can. So that's what I stitched on. That's what that one's will be looking when it's done. And I show a picture of what it looked like last time here. This is where I'm at right now. This one is stitched on a 32 count pearl gray linen 2/2. The needleminder is from Tango Designs, and because I said I'm going to stitch on this piece because of the raven, I decided to go and actually stitch on the raven. I finished the raven and had 254 stitches, and I needed 250, so that was pretty perfect. Yeah, that's what I stitched on. Over here, that's going to be her hand where the raven is sitting on. That's why there's a few stitches missing. Yeah, really happy. That's my Raven Queen. For her, I want to do a whole lot also this year. I basically want to finish everything from that point upwards. So yeah, still a lot to do, but I'm happy to have started a little bit with the raven. And the last challenge was to stitch on something with smoke. Well, I do not really have something with smoke. I searched through all of my projects and I did not really find something. But in Enchanting Stitching Challenges group, you're allowed to be super creative. So I decided to stitch on Sleepy Hollow by Glennon Place because the head is on fire, and when there's fire, there is smoke. So I stitched on this one, and I show a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So I basically stitched a lot in the tree down here. This one is stitched on a 28 count casual linen by Picture This Plus in the colorway Haunted 2/2. Needleminder is from Tango Designs. And I basically stitched a lot in the tree, and it looked good, but not like super tree kind of, not a lot like a tree. That's what I wanted to say. So I decided to start with backstitching a little bit, and that actually helped to see some dimensions. You're going to see that one in the plants section once again. But yeah, that's where I'm basically presently at, and I'm really happy with how this one looks. Maybe next time I stitch on this one, I will go in the border just to not forget to stitch on the border and just stitch on the picture and in the end have a lot of border left. That's not super nice as well, but I'm really happy to finally have started the interesting part of the design and not just stitching on border. The border looks fabulous and super cute, and I love the beads in there, but it's also nice to actually stitch on the picture. That's that one. As I said, you will be seeing that one in a bit. And then there was another challenge. I told you in my Whip Parade video, I'm participating in Whip Go, which is basically a bingo board that you fill with your projects and your goals for the year. Every month, 2 squares get called. And then if you finish the goals and they're all called, you can get a bingo and you can reward yourself. I do not want to reward myself with anything. I just like the way of having the possibility to focus on the projects that get called in a month. So I did that last year and I basically kept track of it but did not use it. But this year, Jessie Marie Dustuff, who created the WhipGo, included WhipGo weekends. So there's a Facebook group a Facebook group on Facebook. It's called WIPGO 2021. And basically every full weekend or every weekend after the first full week of the month, something like that, there's WIPGO weekend. And WIPGO weekend you decide for yourself for a weekend goal for your projects. You do not have to finish the whole goal you have for the whole year on that weekend, but you can set yourself a weekend goal and try to accomplish that. And you get entries into a drawing for a gift card or something like that at the end of the year. So this weekend or last weekend, it was WIPGO weekend. This month in January, 3 projects were called because square number 13, so the one in the middle, got called. And for a lot of people, this is a free square. So Jessie Marie draws a third one in that month. Because then with 11 months, 2 projects, and 1 month with 3 projects, you get to the 25 and the whole bingo board has been called. So I don't have a free square in the middle, so I had 3 projects. For all of my projects, I set a goal of 200 stitches, and that's basically what I did. So the first project I have, or is called on my WIPGO board this month, is Dragon Dancer. It's by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Anne Stokes. I mentioned that one before for the January bingo, so I technically have to do 4,010 stitches in January on this project. Probably not going to happen. But yeah, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at. So this is stitched on a 32 count Zweigert linen 2/110 stitch. And basically I had a part thread up in here, so I finished that color on the whole page. That got me close to 300 stitches, so my goal met. And that meant a few stitches up in here and down here. And that's it. But I really felt the love for this project while stitching on it. My January or my WIPGO weekend, on Friday I did nothing for it. On Saturday I only managed to do 1 project, and then this one I stitched on Sunday as the first project. And I really wanted to keep going. But it just did not happen because I needed to get to the other project. I still needed to go to work. So sadly it did not happen, but I'm really feeling the love for this one, and I really would like to continue stitching on this one. It's not planned for next week, but we'll see. I would really like to stitch a little bit more on this one. In the beginning, on this page number 3, I searched for colors from the left to the right, and chose colors and completed it over the page. Going forward, I think I will choose colors from top to bottom because the top is already kind of filled in. So filling those last missing stitches and then continuing to the bottom of the page kind of feels like the way to go. So that's what I'm going to continue doing on this one. And hopefully getting a page finish kind of soon. Yeah, that's Dragon Dancer. As I said, I would like to continue stitching on this one, but I have nothing planned for next week to stitch on it, which is sad, but that happens. Okay, next one for WIPGO weekend was Mini Magic Mirror, also Having Enough Designs. The artwork is also by Anne Stokes. That's what it's going to look like when it's done, and I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. This is stitched on 28 count Lugana 2/110 stitch. Needleminder is from Just So Heavenly. And I did about 200 stitches for WIPGO weekend, and then I took it with me to night shift and did close to 500 more. So I did stitch a little bit down here, but mostly I concentrated on page number 3. Chose colors from the right side of the page to the left, and filled them completely in, except for black. So the first 2 columns are actually, I think, except for 1 color, are done, except for the black. So there will be a lot of black to fill in the end, but that's what I want to do at the end of the page. to have the page completely done except for the black, and then just have super fast stitching with filling the black in. But yeah, that's that one. And I did a lot in her hair because a lot of the colors that were missing in the second column were over here in her hair, so I did a lot in there, and it looks really cool. Yeah, here she is, mini matching mirror. I would like to get some more stitches into this one as well, and I think this will kind of stay my 12 stitching for night shifts, because I do not need a lot of colors. It's not super wide, so I can take it with me kind of good. And as I said, I do not have a lot of 12 stitching projects at the moment. Basically, I have to stitch with a band sampler, and I do not want to stitch a whole lot on that one already, because that might happen that I finish my goal super early and then don't have any treble stitching left. So at the moment, I'm going to take mini magic mirror with me as well, at least when I know that I might get a bit more treble stitching time done. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. And then for square, my needle. For square number 13, that was actually per random my only planned new start for 2021. And that is, and I started it into 200 stitches, Roller Games number 2 by Mirabilia. Number 1 I finished 29th of December last year, something like that, so not a long time ago. And now I have started on this one. So there's no before picture, of course, but this is where I got to. So I started in the middle, which was about here, and then stitched my way up. And because I did not have a working copy, I could not mark anything, so I decided to go with bigger blocks of colors. And that basically meant I then worked my way down again and over here into that part of the dress. That's that one. This one is stitched on 32 count white opalescent linen 2/2. The needleminder is from Danka Designs. Yeah, that's where I'm at. My year-end goal for this one is to finish the Queen of Diamonds. So finish everything in her, and probably also do the back stitching next to her. That's the goal. We'll see if I can manage to do that, but yeah, I have started her, and that's pretty cool. Next time I hopefully have a working copy and I can make my way up to her face. That would be nice. Okay, that's that one, and that's everything I stitched on. Quite a lot, and I know it's been probably all over the place with all the different challenges I'm presently in. At the moment, I'm fine with having that because I'm mostly concentrating on the Chanted Stitching Challenges weekly challenges, and if any other challenge comes along the way, I might participate in there, but I do not really concentrate on it, and if I do not make it, then I'm fine with that. But yeah, I know that at the moment I have a lot of challenges going. So, plans. As I said, I want to have one project I stitch on every day of the week. That project will be Lavender Garden. So hopefully with stitching on it every day at least a little bit, I will get good progress in, because I want to finish this piece this year and it's not one of my favorites, so therefore I need some extra motivation on this one. I am actually thinking about taking this one as my focus piece every second week and just switching it out with one other piece in between. But yeah, we'll see about that. For challenges, we have to, first challenge is stitch on something with gold or turquoise, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going to stitch on Twisted Band Sample for that one, because the band I'm presently in, I have to finish that light orange I'm presently stitching with. I forgot what it, maybe Outback? Yeah, it's the dinky dice is called Outback. And the next color that will be in that band is called Aussie Gold. So I have the gold in the name. With treble stitching, I hope to finish the Outback color during the week, and then maybe have the weekend to finish or to do the challenge with the Aussie Gold color. So that's for Twisted Band Center. The next challenge, is stitch on your outcast whip. For example, put in timeout, least worked on, etc. I'm stitching on Lavender Garden for this one. This project got 2.5 hours of progress last year. That's definitely an outcast whip. So I'm going to stitch on this one. I need 250 stitches for that challenge. With stitching on it every day, that should be definitely possible. And the third challenge is put some time into that backstitch you've been avoiding. Well, those pots, as you can see here, are backstitched. So I'm with the 250 stitches for the second challenge. I will do a lot in those pots and above, so that I will be able to backstitch those pots. I only need 250 backstitches. Normally you need for every challenge 250 stitches. Backstitch counts as a half stitch, but because they ask specifically for backstitch in this challenge, you only need 250 backstitches. So I hope that those 2 pots will be enough. If not, I might move up in here because there's some backstitching on top, or even into the next pot and do that one as well, and hopefully get my backstitching done. If I finished backstitching those 2 pots and I know I'm just so far away from getting to 250 stitches, I will move to Sleepy Hollow by Glennon Place, because this one will be used for challenge number 4, stitch on something you can connect to fire. And if I still need backstitching, I can use this one as well, because everything in here is backstitched, the whole thing. So I can then use, except for the moon, but I can then use a little bit more over here for backstitching. But I really hope to be able to do it all with Lavender Garden. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, that's it. That's everything I plan to, as I said, every day on this one, and maybe a bit more on one of my full coverage pieces, just because I really want to. Yeah, I hope you kind of understood what I wanted to tell you. I know it's been super all over the place with all the different challenges. It annoys me as well a little bit, but just for telling you, I made a list and I kind of have it organized kind of well, I think. But I know that telling you everything is really complicated. I'm not even able to explain it in German, and now I have to do it in English. So I know it probably is not super easy to follow, and I'm sorry for that. If you're really interested and you have questions or anything like that, just comment on the video. I know I take my time to answer back, but I do. I really do answer back. It just sometimes takes a while. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you are. I hope you stay safe. Wear your mask. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.